Okay, so I did wind up having to not only pop this piece here off, which I mean that just snapped off. Set that to the side. But I also there was a bunch of foil across this part that had to pull all that off to be able to get to these screws that were under there. Went ahead and took the hard drive out to get to the screws that were under it. We'll set that to the side. So I took these screws out up here, which releases the screen from your base right here. And then once I turned it over and I had taken those screws out, the fan just kind of fell out on its own. So our coolant fans. So pretty much when I took all those screws out, everything just pretty much came out on its own. Just made things fairly easy. Now we just take out our hard drive here, which this is a 60 gig hard drive, which is, I guess it's just because it's an old gaming laptop. That's a really small hard drive. So your hard drive here, it's only 60 gigs. I mean, there's not really even much point in even selling that on Amazon. It's so small. Alright, so we've got that done. Now, turn it over again. And this top panel here, once the screws were removed, this top panel came right off. We'll get to taking out our mouse pad here in a second. Your mouse pad's usually got a pretty good board on it as far as gold recovery. But for now, we're going to set that up here with our screen. Now all that's taken care. And to remove the screen, I did have to disconnect these two gold connectors from the Wi-Fi board, which I'll show you here. Right, and at this point, the main motherboard will come right out. We can get easier access. Let me set that over here and then get this out of the way so that we can have it just sitting flat. But before we set this off to the side, I'll show you. Here we've got some good gold pins in there we'll get to shortly. We got some more good pins up here, as well as a little board under there. I'm not sure how good that board's gonna be, but we'll get to it. We've got our speakers here and another speaker here, but we'll get to those after we take a closer look at our main motherboard here. In our main motherboard, we have 2 sticks of RAM, and I looked at them. They're actually to take your RAM sticks out. If you look close here, you see these on each side. You just press those to the side, and your RAM stick pops up. You just pull it right out. These RAM sticks are, see if I can focus a little better. Yeah, these are only 512 megabyte RAM sticks, so those really aren't worth anything other than gold recovery. Like I said, it's like a 2007 model. Even though it's a gaming computer, it's an old gaming computer. So back then they really didn't they really didn't have the the high capacity RAM and memory that we did now. Uh, Unless you were going to be using, a desktop computer instead of a laptop. But this was at one point one of the nicer computers back then. So we'll set these RAM sticks over here to the side with our hard drive and disk drive for now. And we can go ahead and pop out our Wi-Fi chip, which is going to release the same way. It's got those two tabs on the side. Press them out, and this will pop right up. This is your Wi-Fi board, which is really big for a Wi-Fi board. Like nowadays, they're about a quarter this size. So it's a 54 gig max performance. So it's not really the best either. Most of the components that we're going to be pulling out of this, they're really not good for anything but scrap. If you take a look right here, these two little connectors, those are gold connectors. That's what I had to disconnect these from to separate the screen. So we'll go ahead and set this over here with our RAM sticks. Looking at the rest of this board, we do actually have quite a bit of parts here that will have gold plated pins. We got our USB ports here. Those are all going to have gold pins. We've got this strip right here that I can focus back in. This strip right here is going to have gold pins. We got another little, I think this is our power, won't focus. It's our power supply plug-in right here. There's gold in that. I shone a little light in that, and we had gold in there. This is our processing chip. They're usually pretty easy to take out. They'll usually have like a little toggle here. You lift that toggle up, and that'll release. And on the inside, you've got these gold-plated pins here, as well as these little MLCCs in the center here. They'll contain palladium. This is one of the heavier ones with this big metal heatsink on top. There'll be gold bonding wire under that. We'll take that apart. I'll probably actually just save this up with the other ones I have, because I'm going to do a video on processing chips and how to break them down. So I'm getting a nice little collection of them up before I start that. If you look down here, inside where those little pins go, there's the female ends where all those little pins set in, and those are gold as well, but that'll be a little harder to get off. You got to get a little pry bar and pry that up. As you can see, we got more MLCCs in there, which will be palladium. We also have a lot of tantalum capacitors not just here, but on the rest of the board. I seen some more. Yeah, we got some over here, some here. And here we've got these two gold-plated. I don't even know what these are, but they're gold-plated. So, and we'll turn it on end here. And you can see in here we've got gold-plated pins in there and there. And both of these right here. I already mentioned the gold plating in these in your, I guess these would be called phone jacks, where where your dial-up internet would be plugging into it. USB ports always have gold pins in them. I believe that's about all the ports except for this one here. This is where your battery plugs in at. So